Welcome to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann, a leading expert in professional coaching, clinical hypnosis, and energy clearing. Lois is an award-winning author of Chronicles of Hope. She has decades of experience in advanced hypnosis techniques, has conducted highly effective success coaching programs that have helped clients discover ways to achieve success, empower themselves, their families, as well as holistic practitioners to expand their practices. Get ready to be empowered with your host, Lois Hermann.
Good morning and welcome to Inspiring Hope. I'm your host, Lois Hermann, and I'm here to inspire you with positive messages and celebrate everyday people who make a difference in our world. When we focus our thoughts and energies on what we love to do, we create powerful shifts that cause us to be more positive and peaceful. As we lift our energy, we empower everyone around us. If we each do what we can to make small shifts in awareness, from kindness to healthy habits and simple happiness, we create ripples of hope. Join us as catalysts for positive change for our families, our communities, and our world at large. I hope you are inspired by today's show. And today, I want to know from you guys, how did you spend your Memorial Day weekend? Did you say a prayer of gratitude for those who lost their lives for our freedom? Honoring the past is important, and understanding that we are all one is more important still. I personally spent some time in my gardens honoring Mother Nature for all she has done and continues to do for us. These past years, I've been so busy writing books that I've let my gardens get overgrown and out of control. It was sad to see how my once beautiful gardens were so neglected, yet fascinating to note how persistent and resilient the plants are. So who has roadies? Well, this week the flowers are absolutely gorgeous in New Hampshire. We've got rhododendrons blooming, and in my house I have mature rhodies all around. I can see beautiful rhodies from every single window in my house, and it is just gorgeous. Well, last weekend, and I continue to do this, I dug up and divided plants that were thriving on their own and transplanted the ones that were struggling. So did you know I used to actually have a garden design business, and I've had a lifelong passion for gardening, especially perennial gardening. And 20 years ago, I actually turned that passion into a business where I created colorful gardenscapes for several of my neighbors and friends. It was great fun and a lot of work too. Someday I'd like to investigate vegetable gardening, but for now my intention is to gain control of my wildly overgrown and neglected flower beds, one bed at a time. Well, with the help of my strong and patient husband, we pulled out huge shrubs that had outgrown their space and transplanted them where they could have more room to grow. We pruned or eliminated the dead wood and moved other bushes to places where the light was more suitable for them. When all was done, we created several beautiful gardens using materials we already had. And there's always more to do. While applying the principles of feng shui, the gardens look and feel zen-like. And adding daily doses of water, all plants are happily thriving in their new spaces. In the laws of physics, out of chaos comes implicate order. Well, I found myself making an analogy between tending my unruly gardens to what is happening with the lack of control in our world today. Right now, so many people are upset with their lives being turned upside down with this enforced shutdown and other things that are happening. There's no order, only chaos. Some businesses are closed, and the owners are angry, sad, and rightfully worried. Other people are concerned because they're overworked and feel out of control. I liken this fear-based mindset to weeds growing wildly in the gardens of our minds. Sometimes we just need to pull those weeds of negativity that are choking our positive thoughts and blocking choices that could bring new growth. As we remove the old deadwood that holds us back, till the soil for different opportunities, and transplant ourselves into healthier spaces, we enjoy the potential for a healthier, happier today, which leads to a bright future. We must be sure to water, nurture, and shine the light of hope in our new direction to create the future of our dreams, one day, one thought, one moment at a time. You are listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Well, my business itself is undergoing a transformation at this time. And this last year, I was booked for weeks, busily helping people to change their thoughts and change their lives. While helping so many clients, I was writing books, doing presentations, developing websites, and creating marketing avenues for the messages, hosting radio shows, and so much more. I truly loved it, yet personally, I was out of balance. My own inner garden was neglected, untended, and out of control. Though at times my health struggled, I'm very, very lucky that it held up. For me, the coronavirus shutdown has caused me to look at what has been overgrown in the garden of my life, what is flourishing and what needs to be transplanted. It gave me the time to complete the second book in the series, and I'll talk about that a little later. Like many, my hypnosis business has slowed down in the situation, yet clients who embrace Zoom are loving the online sessions. They say it's so much easier than fighting traffic, looking for a place to park, hurrying into my office, and sitting in a chair to immediately relax. With the online sessions, once you get the initial login process down, all you need to do is tune in and relax from the comfort of your own space. There's an increased sense of peace as you take the time to integrate insights from the sessions at a more relaxed pace. These sessions are extremely successful for clients, and they're actually much easier for me too. So for the first time since I started working at a young age, I've had an opportunity to really enjoy my home life. As a single mom, I had the sole responsibility to support myself and my children. I've long had a strong work ethic, and with very little downtime in my past. So the past months have forced me to work from home, and this reset has caused me to look at my life in a whole new way, and I'm really enjoying it. I can now settle into gently allowing myself to assist others in a more relaxed and balanced way. This allows me to take better care of myself, my home, and my gardens. So I'll continue helping clients via Zoom sessions from my home office as I share ways to inspire others with messages that I've been blessed to receive. What new awareness have you discovered from this time of enforced shutdown? Have you delved into deep introspection? Are you ready for a change? If you need some assistance discovering your next path of life, please reach out. I'm happy to help you find your new path, your journey for this next phase of life. It's easy to schedule a session at loishermann.com. So you are listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590, and we are having some technical difficulties with our YouTube channel, but it's about to get resolved, and I'm so grateful for these amazing gentlemen who know what they're doing. So this is awesome. So today, I would like to turn the tables as I share stories about my life journey, as well as the creation of my book series, Chronicles of Hope. Though technically, I'm an introvert, I'm a private person, and I have a hard time talking about myself. So my wonderful husband suggested I have Christine interview me. So please welcome my dear friend, editor, public relations coach, and loyal fan, Christine Snyder. Hi, Christine. Thank you for hosting the show today.
Hi, Lois. I'm happy to help. One of the reasons that I'm one of your loyal fans is you've helped so many people, and you have so many fascinating stories to share. So I'm thrilled that you're going to enlighten us today with some of your own stories. Can you tell us about yourself and your amazing background?
Well, thank you, Christine, for being such a treasured friend and a steadfast supporter. And I'm delighted to be a guest on my show. So thank you for asking. Well, I'm a retired medical professional, a success coach, a board-certified spiritual hypnotist, author, speaker, trainer, energy clearing specialist, Reiki master teacher, and a catalyst for positive change, which is the most important. So my professional background was as a pioneer in diagnostic imaging and ultrasound. I'm actually registered in 5 specialty areas, from radiology to abdominal, cardiac, obstetric, and vascular ultrasound. I've long had a fascination with understanding the root cause of disease, visualizing body structures with an intense understanding of anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, and physics to demonstrate divergent structures for accurate diagnosis. In my 40-year career in diagnostics, I had the opportunity to be in the forefront of medical imaging. I developed foundational protocols, training materials, and imaging systems even. I actually have several patents in my name for system design. And I had a fabulous corporate career that led me to travel the globe doing clinical investigations, teaching, and training professionals. So my start was actually in medicine.
Wow, that's amazing. It seems like every time I talk to you, I learn something new about your amazing background. It's so extensive. It's just fascinating. And I know you've shared that you have done a lot of traveling. How has that impacted your life?
Well, growing up as an Army brat contributed to my extensive travel, which has given me a deep understanding of people from all cultures. I've actually been to over 30 countries. I've been to all but one state, and I've observed that we are all one. We just speak different languages, eat different foods based on the terrain, and practice divergent cultural norms based on the society of our upbringing. Yet, the concept of the need to live, love, and belong exists within all. Inside, we truly are all the same. In my experience, dealing with negative energy goes back over 30 years. Many people are aware of the power of prayer and how sending positive energy helps another person. Well, also sending negative energy works much the same way. My first husband was a very mean, angry, and controlling person, and during the divorce he would direct intensely negative thoughts at me, and I could actually feel the negative energy he sent in the form of pain and confusion, and I didn't understand it at the time, but as an empath, I was truly sensing the intense energy he sent. A parish priest at the time taught me how to block his energy and introduced me to the concept of calling on Archangel Michael to protect myself and my children, which I learned to do on a regular basis. So to escape his negative energy, I took a job with Hewlett-Packard as a training specialist and systems designer, and I relocated from Tennessee to New England to start my life over again.
Wow, that is very, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. You're listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Lois, was there anyone specifically in your past who you've been inspired by? I can only imagine that it's been multiple in your vast experience, but is there one or two people that you'd like to talk about who inspired you particularly?
Absolutely. Well, actually, I've had several amazing people inspire and encourage me on my journey, and you inspire me, Christine.
Oh, thank you.
For the dedication that you show to help your daughter heal through the challenges of undiagnosed Lyme. And also, you've encouraged me so much on this journey. It's not been easy, and you've been there with me for the past several years, and I truly, truly appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Lois.
So there are also some other people, one in particular, that maintained a positive outlook with honesty, integrity, and kindness. So when I moved to Massachusetts from Tennessee, I lived across the street from a woman who would be the most influential person in my life. Her name is Agnes Salette. She was actually a Holocaust survivor and a single mother of 7 who, in spite of physical and financial hardship, always had a smile on her face and warm words of wisdom. Here I was, a single mom of 2, and whenever I'd start feeling a pity party, I would reach out to Agnes and I would be just so inspired. She became my spiritual mentor and a dear friend. She also had a priest that lived with her on the weekends, Father Paul Franz. He was the chaplain at Catholic Medical Center, so between the two of them, I established a new family. And she taught me Reiki and hypnosis, and they both introduced me to A Course in Miracles, and they helped to launch my spiritual journey. So I first learned Reiki to help my young son with his debilitating migraines. He would come running to me and saying, "Mommy, put your hands on my head. It's coming." And as I would share Reiki into his little head, he would fall asleep in my lap, headache gone. I then learned hypnosis to further help my children and myself through that long, intense divorce. I discovered that hypnosis was extremely helpful at diagnosing underlying emotional issues, which, when understood, allowed me to shift my mindset to embrace positive change. And I've lived through some amazing transformational stories where I've risen above intense personal, and professional challenges. In spite of an extremely negative upbringing, an abusive first marriage, and a financially devastating second one, I transitioned my life into one of peace and simple happiness. I learned to shift my energy to be more positive with the amazing power of the mind, body, and spirit. My current goal is to show, to teach, and to help others transform their lives. No matter where they come from, no matter where they are, you can create the life of your dreams starting from where you are right now, today. That is all that matters.
Wow, and you're a wonderful example of that, because it's amazing to me how much intense negativity that you've had going back in earlier years, and how much you've had to overcome with the techniques that you use. I'm such a fan of hypnosis and both Reiki, and you're so talented in those areas, Lois, above and beyond anything I've ever seen or come across in my life. So it's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. You are listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. And I know that you have so many stories to share. It's hard to fit even just a few in the short time that we have this morning. But what specific stories would you like to share, Lois?
Well, thank you, Christine. I appreciate your kind words. The truth is it's the inspired thought that comes through me. I ask my guides to guide me with everything that I do, and they're the ones that I need to give credit to. And one of the stories that I'd like to share is that because I have been in several relationships that were negative and controlling, being controlled by someone feels terrible and constrictive. And sometimes the controlling one is a family member, a business associate, or a troubled friend. And I am pleased that those experiences are behind me, yet they taught me the value of standing up for myself and truly appreciating those who are kind and supportive. I've also learned that sometimes the controlling energies are from the unseen spiritual world. And one of the ways that I help people is by removing externally influencing spiritual energies or entities. Some would call it an exorcism. I simply call it energy clearing. Trained by priests in some of the techniques I use, they are so effective that people reach out to me from across the globe to clear negative energies around them. Clients want to be more themselves, more productive, and more positive. Instead of chasing lost spirits away, I often speak with them through my client, treating them with kindness, much like finding a lost child in a store. I help them understand what happened to them and gain assistance to guide them into the light. I work closely with the archangels as the simple human facilitator on the journey. They actually do the work. I've learned to ask for their assistance, and I think that's the biggest secret of all. And I recently helped to clear a client of a spirit who'd been with her for lifetimes. I know this sounds crazy, but this beautiful, very grounded young mother said she felt like something would come over her, and suddenly she would not feel or act like her normal, happy, fun-loving self. Well, I could identify with that, with what I went through with my first husband. And for no reason, she'd become angry and sullen with little or no energy. At night, she felt as if something was pressing on her chest, and it would keep her up at night, and it interfered with her sleep. At times, her very rational husband would feel that same pressure. So a medical professional referred her to me for clearing, and after a few hypnosis and energy clearing sessions, she's now sleeping better, feeling her happy self, and has tons more energy. And it was a combination of multiple different spirits around her, plus a curse. And I are able to identify all of that and help shift it so the person is more in control. And then I teach her how to keep herself strong and how to keep her energy powerful. So in this time of great fear, many people are feeling intense negative energy, and they're unaware where it comes from and how it affects their lives. So if you feel there are times when you don't feel quite yourself for no reason, or you have little or no energy, you can give me a call to schedule a Zoom session at my website, loishermann.com. And together, we can explore if you have any energies around that are negatively affecting your life, mentally or physically, and we can help clear them. This work can bring around amazing healing. And there are many others who share this keen awareness with spiritual energy. My book, Spirits of Amoskeag and Chronicles of Hope, describe situations where unsettled spirits of the dead, intentionally or unintentionally, interfered with the living. Chronicles even shares what you can do to protect yourself from various kinds of negative energy. You can order them on Amazon or at the website, loishermann.com.
Thank you, Lois. Yeah, you've certainly helped me and my daughter, who you mentioned, who has battled Lyme disease. And she's an empath and has had a lot of external spiritual energy attached to her that was affecting her life. And I had never in my life heard of anything. And it does sound crazy, but I've seen it with my own two eyes. And I've also seen how you've taught us and taught her how to protect herself and how that really does help. It's simply amazing. You are listening to Lois Hermann, Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. So I know you have so many more real-life ghost stories that you want to tell us about.
Yeah, there are so many, and I will be sharing some of them at this radio show every week. I tend to share at least one story. There's so many stories of client success when the spirits around them are cleared, are helped, assisted into the light, and also I regularly help people communicate with their passed over loved ones to gain comfort and peace. However, today, I'd actually like to share the story of how the book series, Chronicles of Hope, came to be.
Oh, great.
Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I've so enjoyed working with you on this project, and I can't wait for you to share it with the world, so please.
Yes, you have been very intimately involved with both books, and you know this story, but we're going to share it with the world. So, once upon a time, there was a very interesting scientific-minded gentleman who came to see me for hypnosis with sleep issues. When he went into trance, some amazing wise spirits came through him and spoke directly to me, which was quite unusual, as they usually speak with the client, and I'm just the facilitator. So what they said was that they needed my help, that humanity may not have much time left. They wanted me to help save humanity by sharing their messages. Well, this was quite a shock to me, and especially to my client who didn't remember anything. So we started recording the sessions, and since the messages were meant for humanity, we chose to create a book or two. And so last year, we published Chronicles of Hope, the Unquietus, Book 1. These ancient ones called themselves the Unquietus and shared their concern for where humanity was headed if we didn't change now. They spoke of how negative energy affects humans and gave the history of the earth, including the 5 mass extinctions, along with the rise and fall of civilizations. These ancient historians told such fascinating stories of the history of mankind, and we decided to create the first book with their insights. And I think that they related to me because I have been dealing with negative energy for 30 years, so somehow they knew that I understood the whole concept of negative energy. But I was asking questions to help my client, and they would answer, and it was really fascinating. I learned so much from them. I had learned from priests and other teachers about the negative energies, but these ancient ones, the Unquietus, shared more specifics, which gave me better insight as to how to help these negative energies and how to help my clients to feel better and to change their life.
Yeah, that's been amazing, that information that you've been able to use to help other people.
Yeah, it was a shock, and it was beneficial for me, but the whole concept of putting it out there to the world has been a whole nother journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what these amazing ones said is, they were historians, so they were far away. Basically, the first ones is what they called themselves, and they said that they really mostly heard stories of what happened on Earth. They weren't as directly involved, so they were going to send their children and their children's children to give us more insight. And these ones their energy is a somewhat lower vibrational level, So they were more directly involved with Earth over the millennia, and they were involved as the ancient gods or as archangels, different beings who've actually been around over many, many years to help humanity. And they could, these beings of what they call the collective, could speak more directly to what is going on with humanity. And they gave us great insight as to what we can do to make necessary changes to save ourselves and our world. And since their messages are extremely timely with what is going on in our world today, we're determined to complete this second book so you can benefit from their wisdom.
Yeah, it's amazing how timely the messages are to what's going on in our world today. So it's really important to get this information out there, as I know you know. So is there a special date that we should know about, Lois?
Why, yes, thank you for asking. Chronicles of Hope, The Collective, Book 2, is off to the publisher as we speak, and it'll be available soon. We're going through the last rounds of finesse. So I want you to mark your calendars for the release date of 8/8. It's going to be great. We don't want you to miss out. Don't be late. 8/8 is a magical date. It'll be on sale for only $1 a rate. So we're going to be selling that book on that day, and we want everybody to purchase the book on 8/8 to really get it out there. And that book will be, it's amazing. All of the anger, the fear, everything that's out there right now, it's all addressed in this book. It's all, they have given us the answers to what we can do to shift into a more positive way of living, into a more positive way of life. They gave us answers as to where this negativity, this hate, this anger comes from, and we have to shift it now before it's too late.
It's amazing that the information that comes through to you is it's just it's amazing. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm so excited for you to be able to get it out to the world. I feel that so many people are overwhelmed we have such a troubled world, and it's such an overwhelming feeling to say, how in the world do I as one person even begin to fix all the problems, all the negativity, all the issues that are going on in the world? And when you read Chronicles of Hope, particularly Book 2, Book 1 is hopeful as well, but Book 2 is extremely hopeful, and it allows you the calmness and it gives you the hopefulness to know that as an individual, yes, one person at a time can make a difference to shift our world to a better place. So I'm very excited. You're listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Lois, how do you make a difference for and inspire others? Can you share with us?
Sure. So by following the guidance of my guides, one of the guides that came through in Book 2 was the Spirit of Jesus. There's a whole chapter dedicated to him. He was very distraught that people had forgotten his simple message, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He says, what happened? My message was so simple. And he was very upset that people had forced his beliefs on others. His message was one of inviting people to change. And one of the things that he told me specifically was, and I quote, "The voices of the people who do more good than harm don't seem to attract the attention of the people in the middle. And the voices of the people who do more harm than good seem to be heard more clearly. You need to make the voice of the people who do more good known. They need to be heard." So that is why I've chosen to host the Inspiring Hope radio show. I shine the light on wonderful folks that I meet, and I invite you to send the names of people who are doing uplifting things so we can spotlight them on the show too. You can contact me at lois@loishermann.com. And please send those, because the whole point is we've got to lift the energy of our world. There are so many people doing a lot of wonderful things. And if we can shine the light on all the people doing good things, we will be able to shift this energy, the energy of our planet. So that's why I do the show. And in addition to the radio show, I have an online Inspiring Hope community gathering where we get together 2 Thursdays a month on Zoom to share, support, and encourage each other on this journey to shift our world to be more positive. And you can register there at chroniclesofhope.net. So we meet the second and fourth Thursdays, and love to have you join us, because the whole purpose is to support one another. People who are feeling so positive end up listening to the news or listening to other people who are so distraught, and it pulls their energy down. So we're providing a safe haven for people who want to stay uplifted and stay connected. And it's $10 a month, so it's very inexpensive, and it's a wonderful place to meet with others of like mind, to keep each other inspired and uplifted. And I also like to teach, and I enjoy doing inspiring presentations, both online and in person. And I've developed many classes, and I can actually create one to fit your group's needs. This next week, it's interesting, I'm presenting at 2 virtual conferences, both on how to shift your energy to the positive. One is for a group of hypnotists, another is for a group of people who do dowsing. So it's about creating that sacred space. Many people don't know how to keep their self-protected and their space sacred. So that's part of what I want to do, or my goal is to help to teach. And of course, I love assisting others with hypnosis sessions, and the techniques I've learned over the years range from traditional hypnosis processes to EFT tapping, NLP, age regression, past life investigation, and life between lives understanding, and of course, the energy clearing, which is my signature. So I help people in many ways just by doing what I'm called to do.
Wow. Lois, you've got a lot going on. Some people are having a quiet, laid-back sort of time in isolation, but I think you've kicked things up a notch. You've been super busy. That's great.
I have been super busy, and I've been also needing to slow it down a little bit. To, like I said, getting out in the gardens has been a solace for my soul, and I'm feeling really connected with Mother Earth and with my purpose, which is to inspire hope for others.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm amazed at just the little amount of time I've been able to just take outside, just sitting in my backyard and just looking up at the skies. We've had beautiful weather here in New England over the last couple of weeks, and it's just, I can't believe how it just calms the soul, and it's so cleansing just to take some fresh breaths and look at the trees, and it's been so helpful for me. So I love to connect with Mother Nature. You're listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Lois, what would you suggest to others to stay upbeat and inspired during this particularly tricky time?
Well, you know what? Limit your exposure to toxic substances, people, and situations.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people say, well, to stay healthy, I want to limit my exposure to toxic things like too much alcohol or too much sweets or too much this, too much that. That's the physical. But there's also the mental, emotional, and spiritual toxicity that comes with listening to too much news, or watching movies or TV shows that are too scary or brutal. It really affects our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And we need to dose all aspects, where there are 4 parts to our being. There's the physical, the mental, intellectual, the emotional, and the spiritual. And all 4 parts of us must be balanced. We must keep ourselves, our energy strong and protected. So as you were saying, getting into nature, even if you're going to watch something on TV, watch a show like Nova or Nature, or something to do with music, or something that's inspiring and uplifting. And you are in control. You can choose how much time to be around negative people. There are negative people in my world that I know I must connect with on a regular basis, but I can choose how much time to expose myself to them. And I can say, okay, that's enough. I can shine my light. I cannot force change on anyone. I can offer positive energy if the person is willing to take it. It's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If there are people who are so negative, the whole point is, and the guides have told me this, do not allow your energy to be taken down by the negativity. Surround yourself with others to inspire them and to stay connected and inspired with each other. And those people who are looking to have their energy changed to be more positive will seek you out. They will find people. They will find people to help inspire them. So if someone is so stuck in their negative energy, it's not up to us to help save them. I learned that very, very hard with my first husband. My thought was, I can help him. I can heal him. I can save him. That powerful lesson was, no, I cannot. He has to want to change himself. I learned a lot from being in a relationship with him, but I finally, eventually learned to remove myself from the toxic environment and to surround myself with wonderful people. So it's important to surround yourself with nature, with inspiring thoughts, inspiring movies, and just other things. You can choose how to surround yourself with positivity. The other really important thing is to practice daily spiritual hygiene. I tell my clients, you wouldn't go out without brushing your teeth in the morning, would you? Or even start your day. Even if you don't go out, you wouldn't start your day without brushing your teeth. It's become a habit, which is a healthy habit. And what we have to do is we have to establish healthy spiritual habits. And now, I know there are people who meditate daily, and I admire them. I have long been a very busy person, so finding time to sit there and do the Om meditation has been a challenge for me. What I do is when I awake in the morning, that first 5 to 10 minutes before I even open my eyes, that is when I meditate. I lay there and I do the protective bubble, and I can go through that with you, or you can actually, if you send me an email, I'll send you a specific description of it, step by step. And I will actually set my sacred space, do my protective bubble, and think of all of the things that I'm grateful for. I start the day with an attitude of gratitude. And as I practice my protective bubble, create my sacred space, it sets the tone for the entire day. And again, you can get a copy of these techniques at my website, loishermann.com. Send me an email, lois@loishermann.com, and I'll be glad to send you a link. The other big thing is to ask for help from the unseen guides around us. So my dear friend Brian says there's a lot of unemployed angels out there right now just waiting for a job to do. You just got to ask. They will not interfere with our free will, but I have learned to ask. They're willing to help. So as the day unfolds, when you encounter a challenge, stop a minute, say a prayer, ask for help with discerning what to do. Give me the thoughts, give me the words, give me the way to respond to this situation. And it's amazing how things will shift. So meanwhile, you get out in nature, listen to the birds, look at the beautiful roadies. You can dance, you can sing, you can play, and you can create. Find things to do to create for yourself. Enjoy the beauty of the flowers in bloom. And I truly invite you to read the Chronicles of Hope. It's meant for you. It contains many answers on how we can live more positive, purposeful, and happy lives. These were messages that came to me, and I'm using them, but they're not meant for me. They're meant for you. I'm giving them away free. I'm giving them away through the highlights on the YouTube channel. I'm posting them out through social media channels. I'm offering them in as many ways as I can. My job is to deliver the messages so that we can collectively save our beautiful planet.
Wow. Thank you, Lois. Those are all really great tips. I have to comment on the protective bubble that you've taught to me and my daughter a few years back now, and it just seems so strange to me to put this mental protective bubble around yourself to protect yourself from negative energy. It just sounded very foreign to me, but I've seen how it works for both myself and particularly for my daughter, who is just a magnet for so much negative energy. And now we even joke we've we went to New York City a couple of times this past fall, and when we're out and about in crowds, and she was walking in front of me, and you can imagine in New York City how crowded it is, and I'm yelling to her, protective bubble, and she's yelling back, yes, I know, I remembered. We remind each other, but in those particular instances where we're around so many people, the protective bubble becomes so much more important. Strange, I know how it sounds, but I've seen it work with my own two eyes.
And that was the first thing that priest taught me 30 years ago. I would send my children off to school with protective bubbles around them. I didn't know anything other than surround them in a bubble, send them to school in a bubble. That's all he taught me. Put them in a protective bubble. And so this has been something that I've done now. It's become second nature. And to me, when things go awry, it's because I failed to add a protective bubble. So here I'm looking at, we had a little snafu with the YouTube again today, and I intended, or I did a space clearing before I came into the studio, but I didn't do one when I got to the studio, and I probably should have. However, part of it is, there's always a learning. It doesn't really matter, because the message will be there. We will get the message out to you, where it's being recorded on audio. Even if the video went kaflooey, it's not about the video anyway. It's truly about the message and about getting it out there however we can. And so a little bit about the protective bubble. What you do is you imagine a glowing ball of light in your solar plexus. That's that middle part that most people who do any sort of energy balancing know the solar plexus. That's your gut area. So that's where we carry a lot of fear, and that's where many people are contracted. So I want you to just imagine with me a beautiful ball of glowing light. Usually in that chakra center is a golden light. So imagine that golden light glowing from within, and let it glow through your whole body. And what that's doing is it's pushing out any negative energy. That glowing from within pushes the negative energy out. And then you imagine standing in a magical waterfall of beautiful shimmering light. I will often also, if I forget to do this before I get out of bed, I will do it in the shower. Just imagine that shower is a beautiful glimmering light, and it washes off the negative energy from around you, and just scoop it up and send it off with the archangels or whomever wants to come and take it away. But what you want to do then is surround yourself in a protective bubble. It's like a malleable, thick-walled bubble of light that moves with you. Don't make it too tight because it'll be constricting, and don't make it too big. You want to have it just, it comes and goes. You're in control of how the space around you. The important thing is on the outside of this malleable bubble of light that glows with you is to put a protective coating like a silvery sheen that deflects anything negative, and only the positive will be absorbed. So there's more to it, but that's the general idea, is surround yourself in your bubble before you or when you encounter, especially if you're around someone that's particularly negative, put up your shields, your deflector shields, as you call it, in order to protect your energy, because we are energy beings. We are energy, and our energy is impacted and influenced by others around us. So protect that precious energy that is in your being.
So interesting. It's just fascinating. You're listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Lois, are there any specific messages or events that you want to share with your audience?
Well, thank you for asking. Yes, of course. If you're inspired to, please join the Inspiring Hope community, where we keep each other uplifted and support one another on our journey to be catalysts for positive change. And you can find that at chroniclesofhope.net. Community. Also, listen to these. Please share these shows out. I'm doing them to help humanity. That's my intent. That is my purpose. And if you wish to shift your mindset to be more positive, I can help you. There are other hypnotists out there that can help you as well. You can check out my website, loishermann.com, and schedule an appointment. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can watch all of the radio shows, the highlights of the Chronicles books, and there's also mindfulness exercises. You can follow the link from the home page of either the loishermann.com website or chroniclesofhope.net website. You can also find all my social media links where I share a lot of positive energy. My intention is to bring the messages. It's not about me, it's about the messages. And this show, I really just wanted to share kind of where I come from so that people understand, well, who am I? I'm just here as the messenger.
I love following you on social media, Lois, because your messages are so positive and inspiring, particularly at a time when we really need it. In fact, social media can tend to get negative, and sometimes my kids will complain about negativity that they see on social media, and I tell them to clean up their social media feed and get rid of anybody or anything that is negative. And it's amazing. I've done that myself, and it's amazing how that the energy, the feeling when you're on social media, when you're receiving positive messages from accounts like yourself, or just from friends who are super positive or family members who are positive, it makes such a difference in your day. So I think you do a great job with social media.
It sure does. And, you can hide those posts when something sneaks through that is negative or overly politically oriented. I hide it. I block it. I think it's because I have been, again, practicing that discernment. I have so many people in my Facebook following that are incredibly positive, and I am blessed. The social media, I don't post a lot of personal stuff, but I do post messages, and I thrive on all the wonderful messages from people who are posting out there.
Yeah, I do too. That's great. I could talk about Chronicles of Hope, Lois, all day long. I'm such a fan of those books. So if we could get back to that would be great.
Sure.
Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share about Chronicles of Hope, your book series?
Absolutely. So many. And if you've yet to read book 1, it's available on audio, Kindle, and softcover. It's a great book with messages from the Anquietas, these ancient ones, that sound the alarm for where we're going if we don't change our ways. Because Earth has faced 5 mass extinctions in the past, and we are facing a 6th mass extinction because of the great imbalance in our world. We're seeing that. We must shift our energy to be more positive before it's too late. And it's much more doable than people think. Many people think that we're hopeless. However, nothing is further from the truth. There is much hope for humanity and Earth right now if we act accordingly. The ancient ones, wise ones, they gave us little-known history of our planet and the evolution of humanity, which was really cool. So that was book 1, but book 2 is coming.
Well, I love the hopefulness of both of your books. And remind us again, Lois, what's the special date that book 2 will be coming out?
Sure. Book 2 will be released on 8/8. That's the magic date, and I'm ever so excited. This book is timely in that it gives us answers to guide our lives to be more positive during these particularly challenging times. You and I worked together along with my precious friend Liz the past 5 months. We have been just really working hard to get this book out there, because in book 2 we hear from an ancient god, the god of Atlantis, a special teacher, Jesus, a little-known goddess, Aurora, a misunderstood archangel, the spirit of the universe, and the spirit of Mother Earth herself. Each of them give deeper insight and understanding into what has happened to get us in this troubling place, and more importantly, what we can do to make this world a better place. There is hope. We have to act now.
The information that comes through to you is just amazing. There are really no words to describe it. But I think I'm correct in saying that you were hesitant and even a little bit scared to write these Chronicle of Hope books. I think, thankfully, you said yes. But would you like to speak to your reservations and your hesitation in writing these books to begin with?
Sure. Well, I didn't feel, and I still don't feel worthy of this task. I love what I do, and technically I'm a private person. I'm an introvert, and I love what I do, helping people with my strange energy clearing methods. And I actually have no desire to be in the spotlight. I have no desire to be famous, yet I just said yes to my guides, and they know I'm going to follow through on my commitments. I have that integrity about me, and they know that. So I need your help to get their messages out there. It takes a village. We need to save our precious planet together. I'm doing my part, but my part is to present these messages however I think I can. And I need, it's like a tag team. Somebody needs to take this baton and take it to the next level and the next level. These messages are so timely and so important, and they need to get out there. And I'm doing what I can, and yet at the same time, it has been a little scary. There's been a lot of challenges, and those are stories for another time. Pretty fascinating stories about dealing with energy to get this book out there, because we've got to, and we're determined, and it will get out there, and the right people it'll be placed in the hands of the right people. I just know it.
Yes, absolutely, and your dedication is unbelievable, and I so admire it. And I thank you for doing the work that you do, from writing the books to teaching people how to protect themselves, to having people connect with their Passover loved ones and guides through hypnosis. I myself and my whole family have had some amazing experiences with you and the work that you do, and I can't thank you enough. We could do multiple shows on all the inspiring stories that you have that you could share. So I hopefully we can do this another time, Lois. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you did, many of which is personal today. But
Thank you.
I love the way that you always ask your guests for a favorite inspiring quote, and I know that you have so many, so it's hard to pick a favorite, but maybe you have one or two that you can share with listeners today.
Well, thank you, Christine, for agreeing to host the show for me today. This has been a delight, and I actually have a couple of quotes from the collective in Book 2, and I think I've got time to share them. So the first one is from the goddess Aurora, goddess of the dawn. She said, "All that is certain is that the world as we know it is heading for an end. The path that humanity is currently on, if it makes no changes, will invariably lead to its own end." That'll get you. And that got me. I'm sitting here going, holy cow, why are they talking to me? So then one of my favorite messages from Jesus was, "A good message to remember is to speak the compliment out loud. It's important to let people know when they've done well." So many people point out the negative. And what he said is, speak the compliment, tell people good things. And that really, really resonated with my heart and spirit. Another one from our Archangel Samael: "Civilization has forgotten that all humans are humans. You are one species. The fact that you grew up in a different place and your ancestors came from a different continent does not make you any less related. You are all one. You must remember that." Very powerful. Very, very true. One of my favorites from the universe: "You have been granted audiences with the oldest spirits within me. Listen to these words and pass them on. Take them into your own heart and try to get others to do the same." The spirit of the universe. And then from Mother Gaia: "Starting a trend which is beneficial is worth doing, even if the results are not obvious until several generations later." So those are some of the snippets that you'll get from incredible insights from these guides that came through that are very concerned about humanity, and my mission is to get their word out. So thank you, Christine. This has been really fun chatting with you and sharing stories, and I love hearing about all my guests' inspirational and positive stories. So today was a delightful change to be on the other end. I really thank you.
Oh, this has been a lot of fun for me. Thank you for having me, Lois.
Thank you so much, and thank you for listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann at WSMN 1590. Tune in next week for another inspiring guest. Meanwhile, look up, stay positive, and be the light in someone's day.